So tell me your name, your trade, and
Oh, my name is Millie Ben David. Um, I'm called Millie Amp or Mad Dog at work. My trade, I'm an electrician for the City of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Uh, Before I was an electrician, I was a cabinet maker for 12 years.
and what other jobs have you had in your life?
Oh, I've had fill-in jobs. Let's see, I've worked at a car rental place. I've done some handiwork on the side. Um, Hmm. Oh, I used to build displays for conventions and set them up at the convention center. That's local 831.
All right. So, how old were you when you first got into electrical, and how did you get started?
Oh, electrical, I think I was 32, 32, I think. And how did I get started? I got hungry. My kids were going without shoes. When I was a cabinet maker, the economy had changed. When I started as a cabinet maker, I was in the union, um, and the scale was very good, and there was enough work. And even between jobs, with unemployment, I could make do. But it was very good scale. I was an apprentice. I didn't know anything pushing a broom. I was making over $9 an hour and 79. So that was enough to rent an apartment that you could live on that much money. That was a big check. And then when they had the shows, the scale, I made almost 3 times as much. So, well, that was mega bucks. And then I left the country during the Reagan years, and I came back, and I felt like it was a different country. The union was all but disappeared. The scale, I was making less as a journeyman than I was as an apprentice, and of course the cost of living was triple than when I left it. Where I paid $200 a month before I left for an apartment, it was $800 when I got back, which was impossible. I was making $10 an hour, no benefits, no vacation, no nothing. So I struggled. It was really very difficult for a couple of years, and then just gave up and went on welfare because I kept losing my job, kept getting laid off because I had a sick child. She was sick a lot, and so I missed work because of it. Lost, kept losing my job, so I just gave up and tried to figure out what to do. Took a year off, basically went on welfare, went to the YWCA in Pasadena, and there was a program there, I think it was called Women at Work, and it was a resource group. It wasn't for non-traditional, although they did have plenty of non-traditional resources there, but it was just for helping women find work. So they had resource material knowing that I wasn't going to be happy or able to support myself on a conventional women's job, and I didn't have the skills either. I didn't have any training other than construction. So I went to find the union that was going to not fail me in the future, where I would have the skills to continue for years and years. Electrical is different than cabinet making. People come and they say they're cabinet makers or carpenters, and of course they're not, but they'll get hired on because they're a body, and as long as they can do that physical work or that task, they'll just pay them, and it's never enough. But with an electrical, it's more skills, it's more knowledge, and it's very challenging because the two things that I was scared of the most was heights and electricity. So, and I had to deal with both right away.
So you got the information from Women at Work,
Yes.
and what did you do then?
Well, I applied for the apprenticeship. I've applied actually for several: surveyor, air conditioning, and refrigeration. And the local 11 IBW, which is the construction inside Wireman local. And I just took the first one that came up, and just started, and you know, it's been very rewarding. The beginning was struggling. They've had patches of hard times, but it just kept getting better and making more money and having more confidence myself in something that I was scared of in the beginning was a cinch. You know, by the end I just was really pleased at what I could do, and the money that I was making, and the ability to travel, and I knew that I had a skill that was going to feed me and my family for, you know, as long as I could work.
Now you got in with it with DWP after a decade, or?
I was yeah, it was about a decade. I transitioned from construction to maintenance in the wastewater treatment plant, city of Los Angeles, and I learned a lot there, motor control, and then I applied. I had to test for doing utility work. It's maintenance in substations. I was doing construction at substations for a while, and that has been, I can't even tell you, it was a godsend. It was making very good money. The conditions are great, benefits are great, and I just know that when I retire, I'll have enough money to live on, which is, I'll have the security, the peace of mind.
So can you describe, just like now, when you go to work, what do you do?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
What kind of technical work do you do?
Okay, so it's, you know, it's a really comfortable job, and people are really nice there. So and it's not stressful like it was on the outside. But what do we do? Let's see. We look at well, first of all, we're working with very high voltage, to 230 kV, 34.5 kV, 4.8, and we do have to have a lot of safety, personal protective equipment, which includes our fire-resistant shirts, a lot of equipment, face shields, and to protect from arc flash, which is very dangerous. So it's different than the construction. Now we work with the equipment, circuit breakers, transformers, and all these are the big ones. So any kind of motor control, we have anything from like a sump pump up to a circuit breaker for 230 kV, and anything in between. We don't switch things out, but once it's isolated, we work, repair, rebuild, troubleshoot, of course.
The large breakers?
The large breakers, the transformers, regulators. I'm having trouble remembering all the stuff that we work with, but yeah, it's a combination of being a mechanic and being an electrician. So a person who's really good at rebuilding an engine would feel just as comfortable as an electrician. I'm learning stuff all the time. There's no end to the learning in this field. It's every day I go to work, I always learn something new. So that's it's good for keeping the sechel, you know, going. So
finally, what do you think are, you've already mentioned some of this, the greatest challenges and the greatest opportunities in the trade?
Well, the greatest challenge, I think, is, for me personally, in the very beginning, was the personalities, dealing with men who weren't used to having women around. I thought I was over that when I started in non-traditional work when I was 18, and I had to deal with it then. And then I thought it was done, but no, I had to deal with it again. And it's a different kind. But now I feel I don't get that kind of resistance anymore. You don't have that mentality of men who feel that women can't do the job. I think sometimes they try to help me too much, maybe because of my age. You know, they try to carry things for me, and I have to shoo them away. So that's my biggest challenge now, is making people understand. It's like, hey, you know, I have the ability to do the work, and it's nice that you want to help me, but back off. You know, because I don't want to feel like I am less able, and I don't want anyone to get the impression that I'm less able. So that's probably the biggest challenge right now.
And what about opportunities?
Opportunities, it's really open as far as being able to, you know, at this point in my life, I'm looking at trying to get into supervision. There's just a wide range. Working for the city, you know, it's not just being, it's not just working out in the field, but there's working in the administrative side that they need electricians to do. As far as planning work, organizing the schedules or even projects, supervising the work. So, of course, I'm trying for that now, and give it time. You know, I'll get there. But I'm happy where I'm at too. I'm making a very good living. It's unfortunate that people, you know, who work for a living can't make the kind of money that can support, you know, a family in Los Angeles County, because it's very expensive here. But I make enough money to do that, and I'm not living large, but I'm not worrying anymore about where my next meal is coming from, and which unfortunately is a challenge even for people who work full time. So I'm happy about being in a union and being in such a strong union. And the educational opportunities are limitless. They'll pay for my education. And the only thing that's keeping me back is myself. So whatever I want to do, it's there. And I have the support from the city to go where I want to go. It's limitless, you know.
Have you been involved with the union at all? I know you said you were a steward. You were a steward.
Yeah, I was a steward. Yeah, in the beginning I had a lot of involvement. I used to go to a lot of conferences, and I was a steward. And right now, no, I'm not so much. You know, I have other things that I'm dealing with in my life, but I never gave up my affection for unions. And I always like to go picket. You know, if there's a good march, there's times where other trades were striking or walking, and I would march with them. And I just like that camaraderie. I like the solidarity. I like the feeling that the people want the respect, and I mean financially, that they deserve for doing the work that they do. And there's no work that's so humble that doesn't deserve to have a living wage. So I honor all the people who work, you know, maids, technicians, whatever.
That was great.
Oh.
You're just such a great speaker.
I feel like I fumbled too much, but I'm glad you got it. Okay, Liz.